So one particular brand has been making a ridiculous comeback as of late, pretty much hitting on every single new release over the past couple of years, and have really brought themselves back into prominence within the watch community. And in today's video, I want to talk about this brand and their newest watch, which I think will also be a smash hit. So the brand we're talking about today is Bulova, and you may know Bulova from your local department store, but they really are a much more historic and great brand than that connotation would insinuate. And real quick side note, there's nothing wrong with being a quote-unquote mall watch brand, but let's be honest, a lot of the times us watch enthusiasts are not really interested in these particular examples that we can find at our local department store. So as a brief background on Bulova as a brand, which many of you guys maybe already know, they've been around for over 100 years, and some of their notable accomplishments include being the first watch brand and brand in general to have a TV advertisement back in July 1st of 1941, and they famously had a watch go to the moon as the sort of backup to the Omega Moon watch. They also have some nice military history as well, and so altogether you have a really nice brand with some substantial history compared to the other brands that exist out there. Now, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, Bulova really before a couple of years ago was seen in my eyes as a brand that I never really considered much. I never really looked at their catalog, never really considered buying a watch from them, but as of late they've been absolutely killing it, and a lot of their new watches are all watches I've heavily considered adding to my collection. So I thought it'd be a fun little exercise to run through some of my favorite Bulova releases over the last couple of years, really some of the watches that just stand out to me. And I think the real cool commonality between these watches is that they all offer a really good value for money, especially as you look at brands like Seiko and them moving really up market, generally speaking. I think Bulova becomes a really great option to really look at and analyze as, a real contender here at that sort of $500 price point. So let's go ahead and run through some of these watches. I got my handy dandy list in front of me, and so let's go ahead and start first and foremost with the Bulova Oceanographer. I really love this watch. It's a fantastic under $500 dive watch. Has some really unique qualities. I believe it has a sapphire bezel, some really unique indices that are sort of pressed on the dial. Really cool looking watch. A lot of fun colors. A great summer watch. I know summer's ending, but a really cool piece. Again, under $500. And then sort of iterating off of that, next up is the GMT version of the Oceanographer. I know GMTs have been going kind of crazy recently in the affordable watch space, but yeah, another one to consider here with the Oceanographer GMT, just adding another layer to making this watch really fantastic. Next up is the Bulova Hack. This is a watch that I find to be a really nice alternative to the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. I feel like that watch is recommended left and right, and for good reason. But if you're looking for something a little different, a little bit of a unique look, I think this is a great watch to consider as well, the Bulova Hack. And then next up is the Millships Diver, sort of again with the military theme here, a couple in a row with the military background. This is a little bit of a controversial watch. I know people don't really love the 16mm lug width, but it's a really cool looking watch, really unique. If you're looking for something that is just kind of playing off that vintage military dive watch aesthetic without having to go buy the genuine article, this recreation is a really nice piece as well. Next up here is the Super Seville. This is a really beautiful Rolex Datejust inspired for sure watch, but has its own unique look to it. It also has the precisionist quartz movement to it, so it's going to be extremely accurate. Definitely a fun, everyday watch if you want something that's going to be a little bit more dressy, but can still be used in casual environments. I know a lot of people really like this watch, and another one to really consider. Next up is the Bulova Scuba. Now, in my opinion, this is kind of doing the Omega Moon swatch in a, dare I say it, tasteful way. For some reason, when I think about these sort of plastic cases, I think of dive watches. I think of fun watches that you can get in the water and not really care about. And so this line of watches from Bulova have been pretty fun in my opinion. I actually saw a few of them at the Wind Up Chicago event, and I was just kind of amazed at how fun and colorful they were. Definitely considered buying one of those. And yeah, another one to sort of mention here as well. And then really the star of the show, in my opinion, which is the newest watch from Bulova coming out. It is the Caravelle Sea Hunter in 39mm. Now, this is a watch that is under Bulova's sort of secondary brand, Caravelle. Now, that is kind of the Tudor to Bulova's Rolex, which maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Bulova in itself is not really a high-priced brand, but either way, it's coming out under the Caravelle name, as that sort of is inspired by some of the older releases from Caravelle. And it is a really cool retro-inspired diver. It has the faux Tina, it has the full look to it, Under $400 for this watch with an automatic movement. I think it is outstanding. I believe it's coming out at the end of 2025, and I would highly recommend everyone at least take a look at this watch. I think it's very, very unique in terms of the offering for its price point. It's not going to have too many amazing features, right? The movement isn't overly spectacular. It doesn't have a milled clasp. It doesn't have, screw links or anything like that, but it is a really, really nice looking watch. And if you're just looking for something that is retro inspired, but you don't want to go out and buy a Tudor Black Bay or even an Oris, a 65 or anything like that, this is a really, really nice option. Really, really excited for this to come out, and I will almost certainly be buying one. Now, the reason why I wanted to run through some of the different watches from Bulova that I've liked over the past couple of years is really because I think collectively, as a company, they've done a great job revamping their catalog, and I really just wanted to show off some of these great pieces that have made up this renovation period for them. And I would say overall, I really like the direction they're going. It feels like they're not trying to target that average person walking into a department store anymore that doesn't know a lot about watches. It looks like they're really trying to focus on the average watch enthusiast, which I think is a very special turn in direction for the company. I don't want to claim to know their true internal direction as a company. I don't know if they truly care whether or not watch enthusiasts are buying their watches. I'm sure they don't really care who is buying them, but I can't help but think to myself that they have us in mind in some capacity, especially when you look at some of their new releases. Looking at this Caravelle Sea Hunter especially, this to me is like the perfect textbook watch that the average enthusiast would be interested in, being a sub 40 millimeter, sub $400 vintage inspired diver that's playing off their history and heritage. I mean, come on, that's a smash hit within our community. And this may sound a little insulting to some, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. What Bulova has been doing over the past 3 to 5 years, to me, kind of reminds me of what Longines has been doing over the past 10 to 15 years. Playing off their history, playing off their previous catalogs, previous great watches, a lot of vintage-inspired, military-inspired pieces, and I think it's going to be a great thing for Bulova. Obviously, those are two different brands at two different price brackets, but I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but to me, that is kind of what they're doing, following that Longines model, and I think it's going to work out really well for them. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Bulova as a brand. Do you have any of their watches from over the past couple of years? Would you consider buying them? Let me know down below. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.